Lincoln families. In this video, you're going to get information about drop-off and dismissal, cafeteria health and safety measures in place, sanitation measures being taken at Abraham Lincoln, cohorting on the playground, and health office and safety procedures. First, here are some basics for the school while we are hybrid model or traditional model. Students and staff are required to wear masks all day in all locations except while eating or drinking. Masks need to be dress code compliant. We will be considering masks like we do belts, shoes, and backpacks. They may have a design on them or writing on them. They do need to be school appropriate. Breakfast will be in the classroom each day. Students do not have to have breakfast at school, but it will be available. There will be no outside visitors beyond the school office except for the safety and well-being of students. Parents will report to the front office and not go beyond that unless it is for the safety and well-being of their child. Please do a health screening on your children each day and keep them home with any health concerns. Students' seating in the classroom will be all facing in one direction with a maximum amount of physical distancing. We ask that students bring a water bottle to school each day with their name clearly labeled. If they run out of water, they will be able to refill it. Grab-and-go meals will still be available for children 18 years and younger. They will be distributed at 23 of the WESD schools. Abraham Lincoln is not one of the distribution points. Please check the website for locations and times. Hey, let's go ahead and go outside and take a look at how the drop-off and pickup will be.
Drop-off will begin at 8 a.m. Students will not be permitted on the playground in the morning. They will go directly to their class where breakfast will be available. Students need to be in the classroom by 8:15 if they are not intending to eat breakfast. Students may be dropped off in the drive area at any opening point. Students will walk with distancing maintained between students. Siblings may walk together. All students should be dropped off. Parents should not park and walk students to the gate. There will be multiple staff members to guide students to their classroom. At dismissal time, all students will remain in the classroom until called. Our Abraham Lincoln Easy Up will be stationed in the parking lot. 2 callers will be there to radio for your child. Parents will show a placard with grade level, teacher name, and student name. A sample template will be sent to you electronically by teachers and in a school-wide email. Students will be called to the front. We will have multiple staff members out front to help students to get to their car. There will be 8 stations to load students into the car. Since this is a new process, we will start dismissal a little bit earlier for the first couple weeks. Kindergarten through 2nd grade students will start dismissal at 2:40 and on Wednesdays at 1:10. Grades 3 through 8 will begin dismissal at 3:05. If you arrive prior to the designated time, you will need to wait at the Abraham Lincoln Easy Up until the beginning of calling time. If you have a student in a lower grade level and an upper grade level, you will need to go through the line for both pickup times. We are unable to physically distance in our smaller area up front with all our students. I thank you for the patience with this new procedure. Cafeteria procedures. Students will come down to the cafeteria with their teacher at the designated time. Once inside the gated area, there are taped areas for students to stand to keep physically distant while waiting to wash hands. Students will enter the lunch line where they remain with appropriate distance throughout the line. Lunch items will be prepackaged by the manufacturer or portioned by the kitchen staff. The menu will be limited the first 2 weeks. No snacks will be sold the first semester, as the kitchen staff will not be conducting cash transactions. Students will not have to scan their card or key in their ID number. Cafeteria staff will be taking count of lunches received. Students will proceed to a table. There will be 1 walking direction in and 1 direction walking out. During hybrid model, there will be 2 students per table. All tables are facing the same direction. There will be 1 grade level in the cafeteria at a time. Additional time has been added between lunches to allow for sanitizing tables and seats once a class has left the table. Students will line up in the corridor just outside the cafeteria. Blue tape is on the floor to guide students in physical distancing. Once all the spots are taken, students will be escorted outside to the playground for their recess. There is an exception in a couple grade levels. 2 grade levels will have a recess first and be brought into the cafeteria after recess. This is being done in order to keep the cafeteria to 1 grade level at a time. Let's head out to the playground now and see how we will be doing everything to keep our children safe.
Here is some information about our playground safety procedures. Students will only play with their homeroom class. Students will follow social distancing markers to the playground. Students will be provided with hand sanitizer after lunch. There will be playground zones that will be established to ensure homeroom students are staying together. The zones will rotate to allow students to play in different areas throughout the week. Any equipment used during recess will be placed in a homeroom activity bucket to be taken back to the homeroom to be disinfected. Students will be instructed to line up while maintaining proper social distancing. Playground monitors will provide hand sanitizer to students prior to returning to class. You might have also noticed we have new playground equipment going in. By the time we return to school, kindergarten through 4th grade students will have something new to enjoy on our playground. Let's talk a little bit about our classroom safety procedures. Students will have their temperature taken prior to entering the classroom. Student seating will be arranged to maintain social distancing. Desks will be faced in the same direction rather than facing each other, or students will sit on only one side of the tables, and they would be spaced apart. Each student's belongings will be separated from others and in individually labeled containers, cubbies, or areas. Students should bring their own water from home to minimize use and touching of water fountains. Each classroom will update and maintain a classroom disinfecting expectation checklist. Each classroom will be implementing enhanced cleaning and disinfection of surfaces to ensure the health and safety of students and staff. The checklist requires several initials throughout the day to ensure proper disinfecting of high-touch points and classroom surfaces. Only one student will be released at a time to use the restroom. Restrooms will have a maximum number of students allowed in at one time to maintain proper social distancing. This year, breakfast will be served in the classroom daily. Food will be bundled in the cold bag to limit touching. Included in the bag will be milk, fruit or juice, and a sport kit. The breakfast insulated bags will be disinfected daily.
Students and staff will be screened upon arrival to school. If a student is feeling ill or showing signs of illness, they are asked to contact the health office for further direction. The health office will be limited to 6 students at any given time due to social distancing and isolation guidelines. Students will be asked to wait on the marked areas outside of the health office. When entering the health office, students will be encouraged to perform proper hand hygiene protocols. Every area will be disinfected between student visits to ensure safety. An air purifier machine has been placed in the health office for additional safety measures.
Our health technician will evaluate students sent to the health office. If the student is exhibiting COVID-like symptoms, parents will be called to pick up their child. The student will move from the health office to the conference room to await parent arrival for pickup. We ask that students are picked up within an hour.
All students and staff are required to wear a mask throughout the day. We encourage families to wash their reusable masks daily. Families will be asked to screen daily for COVID-19 symptoms. These symptoms include fever, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headache, loss of taste, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Students may not attend school if presenting any of these symptoms or have received a positive COVID diagnosis for at least 10 days. If a student was exposed, had close contact with someone who is positive, and is presenting no symptoms, students may not attend school for 14 days after a recent exposure. The health office encourages you to know your 3 W's: wear a mask, walk 6 feet apart, and wash your hands.